Hi, it's me again. My name is Cecilsie, and in this video I'm going to explain about a certain technique in algebra called completing the square. Some students are having difficulty on completing the square of a certain quadratic equation. It's not difficult, but it can be confusing for some students. So I decided that I'm going to make this video and make it very simple for you. For example, like if you see this pattern, you are going to be able to do this completing the square quickly. It's not going to be difficult. First of all, I have this pattern, and this pattern works. I tried out to my students. They know how to do completing the square quickly. That's the first type of quadratic equation where a equals to 1. So if you remember, in quadratic equation, the form of the equation is y equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. If a equals to 1, then we use this pattern. It's going to be simpler. If a is not 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, or maybe negative, or even a fraction, we use a slightly more complicated pattern. Like this. We have 15 steps. For type 1, we have only 9 steps. It looks like you have a lot of steps, but later when we do the examples, it's not going to be difficult. We are going to fill up very fast. I'm going to explain this pattern. The first time, where a equals to 1, you have only 4 lines. 4 lines of working, and the last part is already the complete square form. The first thing to do, because to make it easy for you, we are not going to do in order of each line. We need to jumble up. So when they give you the question, what must you do? You must write down and give empty space. For example, x squared plus something, you give a bracket there. Or even if you don't put bracket, you just give some empty space so that you can write something there. X squared plus something, x plus something. That's the first part. The last part is the complete, the fourth line is the complete square form. Bracket x plus something squared plus something outside. We are going to do the first example like this, x squared plus 2x minus 35. That's the first line. Then on the second line, you write down x squared plus something, x plus 2 empty space there. The third line is x squared plus 2 empty space x plus empty space square plus space. The last part is bracket, open bracket, x plus empty space, close bracket, square plus something. That's the question, and we already fill out the second, third, and fourth line. Our job is only to fill it up now. Only 4 lines. Very simple. First step, x squared plus 2x plus negative 35. That's the question. The first step, x squared plus 2x. 2 is still 2 because you haven't really changed anything. You haven't really changed anything. Second step, x squared, the 2 you change it into 2 times 1 like this. The third step is you put on the fourth line x plus 1 squared. Because x plus 1 squared, if you expand back from the fourth line to the third line, will be x squared plus 2 times 1 x plus 1 squared. And that's the fourth step. 1 squared. And 1 squared is 1. So on the second line, you're going to write down x squared plus 2x plus 1 plus something. And what is that something? 1 plus something must be negative 35. And that something will be negative 36. And that negative 36 you're going to copy that down to the third and fourth line. That is step number 7 and 8. That's how that means we fill it up. We fill up all the fourth line. That means x plus 1 square bracket negative 36. How to check? Very simple. We work backwards from fourth to the third. X plus 1 squared, if you expand back again, it becomes x squared plus 2 times 1 times x plus 1 squared. Negative 36, you just copy. Then from the third line to the second line, you copy everything except for 1 square. 1 square you change it into 1 because 1 square is equals to 1. From the second line to the first line, you just combine 1 and negative 36. It becomes negative 35. That's it. That's the first example. Second example, the question is x squared minus 10x plus 16. Again, you must copy the pattern like this with a lot of empty space, and we are going to fill it up now. X squared, the b there, which is negative 10, we copy down from the first line to the second line. Negative 10 is still negative 10 because we haven't changed anything. That negative 10 we change it into 2 times negative 5. The 2 is because it's from the formula. And the negative 5 we copy down to the fourth line. X minus 5 bracket square. If you expand back from the fourth line to the third line, x minus 5 square is x square plus 2 times negative 5x plus negative 5 squared. Then we work back from the third line to the second line. The negative 5 squared, you simplify it, it becomes 35. Then you compare first and second line. 25 plus something must be equals to negative, plus it must be equals to positive 16. So that something must be negative 9. 25 plus negative 9 is 16. So you must put negative 9 there. That's the sixth step. Then the negative 9 you copy down to the third and the fourth lines. That is step number 7 and 8. So only 8 steps. That's the second example. If you're still having difficulty with this, we can try one more example, example 1. If you're already okay with it, you can skip this portion. But I'm going to explain example 3, the third example. X squared plus 13x plus 40. This time b is 13 and we are going to get fractions. Then some students are having difficulty with fractions, but don't worry, we are going to do this together and you will be able to do this later also on your own. First step, from first line to second line. B is 13 and we copy down to the second line because we didn't do anything. We are just simplifying it. The second step, from the second line to the third line. 13, we change that into 2 times 13 over 2, which is a fraction. 2 times 13 over 2 is 13. Third step, we copy 13 over 2 to the fourth line. So we get x plus 13 over 2 squared. That is step 3. Step 4 is we expand back from fourth line to third line. X plus 13 over 2 squared is x squared plus 2 times 13 over 2 plus 13 over 2 squared. Next step, step 5, we fill up on the second line. 13 over 2 squared, you replace it with 169 over 4. That's the fifth step. Step number 6, 169 over 4 plus something equals to 40. You can use calculator, or better still, 40 is actually 160 over 4. So if you have 169, you must minus 9 over 4. So that something is negative 9 over 4. And that negative 9 over 4, we copy down to line 3 and line 4. So the final answer is, open bracket, x plus 13 over 2, close bracket square, plus negative 9 over 4. That's my explanation for completing the square if a equals to 1. If a is not equals to 1, I'm going to give I'm going to give an example for that. This is the first example. If a is not 1, example 1. 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. We must draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines of working with a lot of empty space. This is the pattern. You can just copy that. Try copying it now, then later we are going to fill it up together. This is the question. First step. Step 1, 2x squared. First, second, third, and fourth. what we do, we just copy all the A. From first to second line, we just copy down because we are doing nothing to the x squared. From second to third, we just copy down also because we put x squared inside the bracket. That means if you multiply back, you're going to get 2x squared. Third and fourth step also, we just copy. So the step 1 to step 4 is very simple. You just copy all the A down. Step 5, you have 5x on the first line. Copy down 5, still 5 because we are doing nothing to the 5x. From second to third, which is step 6, we change it into 5 over 2. The reason, because we factorize 2, we factorize the A. A is equals to 2, so we get 5 over 2. That's the step number 6. Step number 7, the 5 over 2, you change it into 2 times 5 over 4. Because we have the formula, right? X squared plus 2 times 5 over 4 plus 5 over 4 squared. Step number 8, we copy the 5 over 4 to the 5th line. From there, we almost get the 4th line, 2 open bracket x plus 5 over 4 close bracket square, and we expand back from the 5th line to the 4th line. If you expand x plus 5 over 4, it turns into x squared plus 2 times 5 over 4 x plus 5 over 4 squared. And that is step number 9. We put 5 over 4 squared. From 4th line to the 3rd line, which is step number 10, we just square the 5 over 4. 5 over 4, you replace it with 25 over 16. Step 11, 25 over 16 is inside the bracket. If you expand back from the 3rd line to the 2nd line, which means you multiply 2 to the whole bracket, you're going to get 25 over 8, because 2 times 25 over 16 is 25 over 8. Then, the next step, which is step 12, you must find something that if you add to 25 over 8 is equals to negative 3. So 25 over 8 plus something equals to negative 3. And negative 3 is negative 24 over 8. Which means you must add negative 49 over 8. Negative 49 over 8, if you add 25 over 8, you're going to get negative 24 over 8, which is 3. So that is step number 12. Then step 13, 14 and 15, you just copy the negative 49 over 8 into the 3rd, 4th and 5th line. So that's the answer for example 1. Our answer is 2 open bracket x plus 5 over 4 squared minus 49 over 8. Next one. Example 2. Make it a bit more complicated, or make it looks more complicated. A is negative 3. The question is negative 3x squared minus 10x plus 8. Remember, fill up all the pattern, all the 5 lines. Just follow my pattern. Then we fill up the answers here one by one. First of all, step 1 to step 4, very simple. Fill up all the A. A is negative 3. Copy to second line, third line, fourth line, and fifth line. That is step number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Step 5, negative 10x. From first line to second line, nothing changes. Negative 10x, you just copy that to negative 10x also. From second to third line, step number 6. Negative 10x, you change it into negative 10 over 3x because we factorize the negative 3 outside. So negative 10x, you change it into positive 10 over 3. And when we check negative 3 times positive 10 over 3x, you're going to get negative 10x again. Yes? That is step number 6. Step number 7. You must change the negative 10 over 3x into 2 times negative 5 over 3x. Because we multiply by 2, so the positive 10 over x, you must change it into 5 over 3, 2 times 5 over 3x. Then that positive 5 over 3, you must copy to line 5. That is step number 8. Which means on line number 5 we have negative 3 open bracket x plus 5 over 3 close bracket square plus something, and then something we are going to fill it up later. Then we expand the bracket again. Expand the x plus 5 over 3 square. When we expand that, we can fill up the line 4. X plus 5 over 3 square, you change it into x square plus 2 times 5 over 3 plus 5 over 3 square plus something, and that something we leave it empty first. That is step 9. Step 10, from line number 4 to line number 3, from the 4th line to the 3rd line. The 5 over 3 square, you change it into 25 over 9. So the 3rd line is negative 3 open bracket x squared plus 10 over 3x plus 25 over 9 close bracket plus something, and that's something we are going to fill it up later. From 3rd line to 2nd line, which is step 11, we expand the bracket. So negative 3 times something something something, 25 over 9. So that 25 over 9, we change it into negative 25 over 3, because we multiplied it by negative 3. And that is step 11. Which means 2nd line become negative 3x squared minus 10x minus 25 over 3 plus something. That is step number 11. Step 12, very simple. That negative 25 over 3 plus something must be equals to 8. And 8 is 24 over 3. Which means that something must be 49 over 3. Because 25 over 3 plus 49 over 3 is 24 over 3, which is 8. That is step 12. Step 13, 14, 15, very simple. That 49 over 3 you copy to the third, fourth, and fifth line, which means we get our final answer. The complete square form of the quadratic equation is negative 3 open bracket x plus 5 over 3 close bracket square plus 49 over 3. That's the answer for example 2. If you still want to see the third example, please continue with this video. This is the third example. The quadratic equation is 3x squared minus 7x plus 2. Copy the pattern again. 5 line of working with a lot of empty space, and we are going to fill up the empty space now. Step 1 to step 4 is filling up the A into the second, third, fourth, and fifth line. In this case, A equals to 3. So step 1, you just copy the 3 all the way down. Step 5, you have negative 7x on the first line. You change it. No, you don't change it. You just copy to second line. Still negative 7x. Step 6. Then negative 7x, you change it into negative 7 over 3x because you're factorizing 3 out. Because 3 times negative 7 over 3x is negative 7x. So the third line until now is 3 open bracket x squared minus 7 over 3x plus something close bracket plus something. That's the third. That's the step number 6. Number 7, step 7. From third to fourth line, the negative 7 over 3x, you change it into negative 7 over 6x times 2. Which means the fourth line is 3 open bracket x squared plus 2 times negative 7 over 6x plus something squared plus something. Then that negative 7 over 6 you copy to the fifth line. You just copy them. Which means the fifth line is 3 open bracket x plus negative 7 over 6 close bracket square plus something. Then you expand back from the fifth line to the fourth line. X minus 7 over 6 square is x squared plus 2 times negative 7 over 6x plus negative 7 over 6 squared. So the fourth line is now become 3 open bracket x squared plus 2 times negative 7 over 6x plus negative 7 over 6 square plus something, which we are going to fill up later. That is step 9. Step 10 is from the fourth line to the third line. You just replacing negative 7 over 6 square to 49 over 36. You just replace it. So remember, negative number, if you square it, you get positive. So you replace negative 7 over 6 square with 49 over 36. Step 11, from the third line to the second line, you expand back 49 over 36. If you multiply by 3, is 49 over 12. Because on the third line is you factorize the 3 out. On the second line you don't factorize. That is step 11, which means the second line will be 3x squared minus 7x plus 49 over 12 plus something. And that's something we are going to find out on step 12. 49 over 12 plus something must be equals to 2. And 2 is actually 24 over 12. So 49 over 12 plus something must be 24 over 12. And that something will be negative 25 over 12. That is step 12. Step 13, 14, 15. Very simple. You just copy the negative 25 over 12 down to the third, fourth, and fifth line. So on the fifth line, our answer, very simple. We get 3 open bracket x minus 7 over 6 square plus negative 25 over 12. So that's the answer for example 3. Hopefully by the end of this example, you can do completing the square of all the quadratic equation. It's not difficult. It's very, very easy. I can do this. Even my grandma can do this. It's very, very simple. Thanks for watching my video. See you again.
हमारा कोई नहीं होता हमारा नहीं वो तो सब्जी खाई करा लाती